Well, it's been several days since the government shutdown began, and for many Americans, especially retirees, there's growing concern about what this means for their savings and benefits. I'm joined today by financial advisor Charles Dodds, with the Mirau Capital Management. Charles, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Nicole, thank you. It's good to be here.
Well, Charles, can you briefly explain what's happening and why this shutdown even occurred?
Absolutely, Nicole. In simple terms, a government shutdown happens when Congress can't agree on how to fund federal operations. Now, that means certain non-essential services are paused, and some federal workers may be furloughed until an agreement is reached. But it's important to keep in mind, this isn't new. Since the 1970s, we've seen over 20 shutdowns. They vary in length, but every single one has ended with the government reopening.
Well, it sounds like history helps kind of put things into perspective. But how have markets typically reacted during times like this?
Well, Nicole, historically, markets tend to react before the shutdown even starts. When the news is still uncertain, the S&P 500 has sometimes dropped around 10% in the weeks leading up to a shutdown. But once the shutdown actually begins, those reactions tend to calm down. In fact, the data shows that markets were positive during about half of the past shutdowns. That's why we call them high-profile, low-impact events. They grab lots of attention, but haven't derailed long-term retirement plans.
So once funding gets restored and things get back to normal, what happens next?
Well, Nicole, in many cases, we've seen markets rebound in the months following a shutdown. While no one can predict the future, history reminds us that short-term political events rarely change the long-term fundamentals of the U.S. economy. Now, investors who stayed patient generally fared better than those who made emotional decisions when those headlines first started coming out. Now, it's a reminder that time in the market matters much more than timing the market.
Well, for retirees, that's easier said than done when the news feels a little unsettling. What practical steps can take place right now?
Well, Nicole, you're right. It's stressful. The best things to do is review, not react. Look at your income plan. Make sure you have reliable sources that don't depend on market performance. Review your tax strategy, especially with all the potential policy changes ahead. And check your risk exposure. Ask yourself, does your portfolio still match your comfort level? These are proactive steps that can help bring clarity and confidence, even when Washington is unpredictable. Now, these proactive steps, along with great tools, can relieve the tension that comes along with events like government shutdowns. We have tools like our retirement toolkit and Brian's book, Smart Money for the Backside of Life, that we provide, and both are packed with practical solutions and ideas to help in times like these.
If you'd like to make sure your retirement plan is prepared for political and economic uncertainty, now's a great time to take action. All you have to do is call or text 915-233-2904 to request your complimentary retirement toolkit. Inside, you'll get personalized retirement tax analysis and a copy of Smart Money for the Backside of Life by Brian Mirau. Filled with insights on how to protect and grow your wealth, you can also visit their website to claim your toolkit and schedule a visit. Charles, thank you so much for breaking this down and helping us see the bigger picture.
Thanks, Nicole. It was my pleasure to be here.
Well, still ahead, President Trump's use of the National Guard in American cities faces major pushback. What we know about the two court cases playing out today.
Smart Money is sponsored by Mirau Capital Management.